I love you.
Oh my God, do. Somebody please say it ain't so. I'm not surprised that Diddy had some DL madness going on back in the day, but I am surprised to hear these rumors about Stevie J allegedly confirming that Diddy had pictures of the notorious B.I.G. in women's clothing. Recently, Stevie J came out exposing a lot of things that Faith Evans told him about the relationship between Diddy and Biggie, and a lot of people are connecting the dots.
Y'all, it looks like Stevie J just snitched on Diddy, and he snitched extra hard. Moments after he found out that his name had come up during a witness testimony during the trial, he flipped and started singing like a canary. And get this, he's not just telling us some regular old story that we've known about for Biggie. He's detailing the last weeks of Biggie's life. According to him, Faith Evans told him some pretty disturbing things about Biggie, including how Biggie found out that Diddy had allegedly paid a hitman to take him out a couple of months before Biggie was tragically unalived. He also made allegations of how Diddy allegedly paid multiple young women to try to lure Biggie into a trap, including allegedly Lil Kim. It looks like Stevie J has a lot to get off his mind, and he is not stuttering. So let's break down Stevie's claims. Now, it's not surprising that Stevie is snitching on Diddy, because everybody's snitching on Diddy. Nobody's trying to catch a case with the feds, because it's pretty clear that the feds mean business when it comes to taking down Diddy and anybody associated with him. And while Stevie has somehow managed to fly under the radar, he was dragged into it when Diddy's team named him as a character witness. Now, for those of you who don't know what a character witness is, it refers to a person who attests to another person's good reputation in the court of law. What this means is that Diddy's lawyers want Stevie to take the stand and tell the court just how good of a person Diddy is with a moral standing, and that he's incapable of doing the terrible thing that the feds have charged him with. The word in the streets is that Diddy's team tried to get Jay-Z as a character witness, but surprise, surprise, Jay-Z refused to do it. He barely got away with an SA lawsuit of his own, so there's no way he's sticking his neck out for Diddy. But of course, Diddy's team naming Stevie J as a character witness just shows how desperate they are and how much they're scrambling. They're supposedly trying to get Stevie to say that he was at Diddy's parties and that nothing illegal happened. Unfortunately, though, for Stevie, this means that the feds have started digging into his business, and it looks like he has a whole lot to hide too. Y'all know how the feds work. If they're digging into Stevie J, it's because they think that he has something to hide. And one thing about the feds, they're always going to find whatever it is they're looking for. And Stevie J knows this. That's why he's fully cooperating with the feds. This means that he is working against Diddy's team. Now, at this point, they're probably wishing that they kept Stevie out of this, because Stevie knows a lot about Diddy and his shenanigans, and his legal team clearly thought that Stevie would be on their side, but they didn't factor in how much Stevie wants to protect himself. Now, if you're wondering why Diddy's lawyers would even trust Stevie, it's because Stevie went on and on about how Diddy had his full support and he would never turn his back on Diddy.
You know, there's more and more civil lawsuits, but
it's a lot of it's bogus.
Out.
It's a lot of bogusness.
You know, because the same lawsuit that Busby tried to file against Jay-Z with the 13-year-old girl.
We got to just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to stop being there for someone I consider to be a friend to me.
As you should.
I'm not going to turn my back. And it's like, I've been scrutinized just by being a friend. I guess someone never had a true friend before.
No, man, it's all good. I think you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
But it looks like he didn't factor in the fact that the feds might be getting involved. And again, it's quite easy to be bold until the feds come digging. And now Stevie has completely switched up, and he's snitching hard. And if Lil Rod's claims in his lawsuit are anything to go by, we can understand why Stevie would want to cut a deal with the feds just so they don't investigate him, or so he can get immunity. But Lil Rod claimed that Diddy knew that he was admired and looked up to Stevie J, and that Diddy allegedly used that information to try to manipulate him into having an affair with him. In the lawsuit, he said, Mr. Combs was aware that Mr. Jones looked up to and idolized music producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, Stevie J. Stevie J is an American DJ, record producer, and television personality. Stevie J was a part of the Bad Boy Records production team, The Hitmen, and in 1997, Stevie J won a Grammy Award for his work on Puff Daddy's debut album. Mr. Combs used access to Stevie J and his knowledge of Mr. Jones' admiration of Stevie J to groom and entice Mr. Jones to engage in homosexuality. It's interesting that Lil Rod mentioned that Stevie J only won a Grammy after he started doing work with Diddy, because Lil Rod also claimed that Diddy promised to help him win a Grammy if he had an affair with him, saying, Mr. Combs promised to make Mr. Jones win Producer of the Year at the...
I'm not just an explosion. I'm 2,500 frames per second of high-octane, fuel-injected devastation, detonated in slow cinematic poetry. Watching this much beauty on a phone is like watching a sunrise through a straw. Let's put me on something bigger.
Grammys if he engaged in homosexuality. But Lil Rod went on to claim that Diddy allegedly showed him a video of Stevie J getting it on with another man, if you know what I mean. And he also dropped screenshots. And Lil Rod also wrote, Mr. Combs went so far as to share a video of Stevie J anally penetrating a Caucasian male without a condom. And this was done to ease Mr. Jones's anxiety concerning homosexuality. According to Mr. Combs, this is a normal practice in the music industry. Look, even Stevie J is doing it. Now, Stevie J denied this, but hey, the pictures don't lie. He was at Diddy's parties, and everybody who attended Diddy's parties allegedly already gets the side-eye from fans and feds. And it got worse for Stevie when Diddy's team named him as a material witness.
Oh my God, DOCZ. Please excuse this annoying chick, but we gotta use her to connect the dots. Like y'all heard, Lil Rod said in the lawsuit that Diddy showed him video of Stevie J allegedly penetrating another man with no protection. But what they left out of the lawsuit is that Diddy had a whole bunch of stuff in his phone. Pictures of a bunch of celebrities doing off-the-wall things, videos or whatnot. And one of those pictures allegedly had the notorious Big. Real thickalicious in the mini skirt. Now, I know that's hard to visualize, but there's people that seen this stuff, allegedly, if these rumors are true. If anybody know, Stevie J would know. And it always made me wonder, why would Stevie J date Faith Evans, then turn around and marry her if he had respect for Biggie? If these rumors are true, he ain't never had no respect for Biggie because of the things that he seen in Diddy's phone.
Which is how we got here in the first place. So what exactly did he tell the feds, and how was this spicy enough for the feds to actually give him immunity? Well, turns out a whole lot. And all that information allegedly came from his ex-wife, Faith Evans. Allegedly, Faith told Stevie a lot about what Diddy did to Notorious B.I.G. And heads up, y'all, it's a lot. Now, I know that there's a conspiracy theory that there has been going around for a while that Diddy allegedly took Biggie out so he could steal Biggie's masters. Well, Biggie's masters are worth about $150 million, while his publishing rights are worth about $100 million. So both of which adds up to $250 million, or $250 million, which is an insane amount of money. Well, Diddy gained a control of Biggie's masters after his passing, which explains why fans think that he took Diddy out. But according to Stevie J, that wasn't the first time that Diddy allegedly tried to take Biggie out. According to Stevie, Faith Evans allegedly told him that Diddy allegedly made multiple attempts on Biggie's life before the final 1997 incident that actually took Biggie's life. Allegedly, there was at least one other attempt on Biggie's life a couple of years before the 1997 drive-by. And get this was before Tupac was unalive, so there's no argument about how it could have been payback for Tupac being taken out. Now, Stevie is still a little shaky on the exact details, but from the way he told the story, Faith and Biggie were coming out of either the studio or a club after a performance or something like that, and the exact location is blurry, but allegedly a masked man pulled up on them with a firearm just as they were leaving and started to shoot at Biggie. But what he didn't realize was that Biggie's entourage was with him that night, and he quickly figured out that he wouldn't make it out if he took Biggie out. So instead, he chose to make a run for it rather than risk being caught. But the interesting part is that Diddy's other bodyguard, Uncle Ron, claimed that Diddy wanted to take Biggie out and had allegedly offered him $30,000 to do it.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists. Finding out that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs. I turned him down because I also found out that very night that Biggie had plans of leaving Bad Boy.
Now, while Uncle Ron has never directly admitted to being a master assailant that night, a lot of fans believe that he is the one. Rumor has it that he was fired by Diddy for failing to carry out the hit. Well, according to Stevie J, Biggie had a very strong suspicion that Diddy had put a hit out on him, but he had no evidence of it, and the experience rubbed him the wrong way, and this was the real reason he tried to leave Bad Boy Records. Now, at that time, he didn't even know about Diddy trying to steal his masters or anything like that. He just knew that he didn't feel safe with Diddy, and he wanted to leave ASAP.
He said, but I'm about to get this money. So he showed me, I said, you about to get that money? He said, yeah, look at this. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Little C's, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy, I don't know, Tracy Murray,
Tracy Lee.
Tracy Lee, and the commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million. It comes out to like $62 million.
And given what Diddy saw at Bad Boy Records, it's not surprising that he believed that Diddy was out to get him. We already know that Diddy didn't exactly treat his artists very well, but it was way worse than that. See, Diddy manipulated his artists so badly that their entire lives were like in his hands. I mean, look at how Diddy treated Craig Mack and Biggie Smalls. The whole Bad Boy family image starts to fall apart. He loved to paint this picture of everybody being so tight and having each other's backs, but behind the scenes, it wasn't like that at all. Word in the streets is that he actually stirred up drama between Craig and Biggie on purpose, like he wanted them to compete just to get things interesting for himself, for no reason at all. Diddy tried hard to push the idea that Craig and Biggie were boys, but like they were some unstoppable duo, but the truth is that they didn't vibe with each other at all. Biggie even admitted later that he wasn't feeling that remix. They just made it happen because Diddy pretty much pressured him into doing it, and Craig wasn't any happier about it either. But what could he do? When Diddy's running the show, saying no isn't really on the table.
Notice like on the remix, Flavor in Your Ear, y'all worked together.
That was just something I had to do, you know what I'm saying? That's politics. Puff asked me to do it. Yeah. I did it. I don't fuck with I do it.
But y'all, there's even more. According to Faith Evans, when Diddy's alleged plan to unalive Biggie didn't work, he allegedly tried to get women to lure Biggie to his demise. And allegedly one of the women was none other than Lil Kim. Y'all, this is a major shocker because nobody would have thought that Kim would work against Biggie.
I knew something was suspect when they revealed to the world that Mr. C is responsible for Biggie getting involved with Diddy. If you know about Mr. C, you know about Mr. C. I don't have to go into details about Mr. C, but in order to appease this DJ, he got a certain taste and a certain liking, and to hear these rumors about Biggie, rest in peace, wearing women's clothing, and Diddy got all the pictures of him wearing this stuff way before he started rapping. Even when he was rapping, Mace ran to the church because Diddy had him in compromising situations as well. Shout out to Mark Curry. He wrote a whole book about it called Dancing with the Devil, where he explains how Diddy would have blackmail on all of his artists. So that got me thinking about Sheik Luch, Styles P, Jada Kiss, rest in peace, Black Rob, Craig Mack, Total, the whole Bad Boy family. He got pictures of them in his phone doing some weird stuff, mini skirts, Daisy Dukes, big boys with booty shorts on. According to Stevie J, allegedly. We don't know this stuff for sure.
Now, don't get me wrong, we all know that Kim and Biggie had an affair, and she claimed that it was all because she was hopelessly in love with him. But according to Stevie J, Faith allegedly told him that she later found out that Kim had tried to lure Biggie to his demise in exchange for Diddy helping build her career. Y'all, what? Not the Queen Biggie? Well, Faith has spoken out about the affair in the past, claiming she was blindsided when she found out about it.
I didn't know anything about them for, this is probably at least a year and a half after, we were together. So I didn't know anything about them. I didn't even think anything about them, to be quite honest.
She also spoke about this in her memoir. According to her, she never imagined that Biggie and Kim would have an affair because Biggie hated Kim. She said, I once heard him screaming at her at his mother's house, although I had no idea why. You think you special, he screamed. I'll go get Inga right now. While Kim cried, Big kept yelling at her, we don't need you for this group. Inga will be happy to be down. You ain't special. He said, I'll replace you with the quickness. Don't forget that. Now, the Inga Biggie mentioned was none other than Foxy Brown, which made this situation even more cruel. Foxy and Lil Kim had already had tension, so Biggie using Foxy as a weapon against Kim was extra harsh. So it's kind of wild that he would go from hating her guts to loving her enough to have a long-term affair with her. But eventually, Faith found out that Kim and Biggie were sneaking around behind her back, and she caught Lil Kim in bed with Biggie on Christmas Eve. In her memoir, she describes how, without even seeing Kim's face under the cover, she started swinging, unleashing her fury. She said, I grabbed some chick out the bed and started beating her. At some point, the chick's wig came off of my hand. It was short, cropped wig. I stopped throwing punches for a minute to get a good look at the chick I was beating up. It was Lil Kim. She was completely butt naked, yelling as I pushed her around the room. Now, the wild part about this is that Kim is not remorseful for her actions because she tried to get back at Faith. And Faith said, when I left a few hours later to get the kids, I noticed that Kim had taken my key to my Land Cruiser and scratched up my entire car from the hood to the back bumper. But that was not all, because Kim's road manager claimed that Kim was so pissed that she once threatened Faith. Kim jumped out the car and pulled a gun on Faith and said, I'll blow her brains out. Now, how does she get that audacity from? Well, according to Faith and Stevie J, it probably came from knowing that she was doing Diddy's bidding and that he had her back. And from the sounds of it, Kim was not the only woman that Diddy tried to use to take Biggie out. According to reports, Diddy also used multiple other women, and he even had them go to the studio to be with Biggie to earn his trust. When Lil Kim confronted Biggie over this, Jermaine Dupri claimed that Biggie pulled a gun on Kim after she confronted him for sleeping with her cousin.
Particular point in time, this was the time when Big, I'm thinking he fucked Kim's sister, right?
Okay,
this is in the music though.
Okay,
yeah.
in the music, okay.
This is in the music. And she found out about it. So she was upset when she came to the studio about this. And he couldn't really get her to do the rap. And me and Usher was just, we was there, young, watching what's going on, and Big pulled the strap out on her.
On Kim?
Yes.
And to lay the verse? Or just
let her know he was a killer.
Oh my God.
Now, allegedly, Biggie had figured out what was going on with Kim and Diddy, which is why he reacted that way. He also ended things with Kim and distanced himself from Diddy. From the sounds of it, Biggie tried very hard to save himself from Diddy, but he severely underestimated how determined Diddy was. Now, like I said, Stevie J is allegedly stinging like a canary, and according to him, he has a lot of stories to tell if the feds give him immunity. Y'all, Diddy's team really should have left him out of this and not called him as a character witness, because that just made things 10 times worse. From the looks of it, Stevie J is willing to go all out and spill everything.
Oh my God, do. Somebody let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. Stevie J been doing a whole lot of talking. Shout out to Miss T for dropping these videos on YouTube. For the sister girls out there, hey, for giving y'all that exclusive news about Diddy and Stevie J and Faith Evans, and what Faith Evans told Diddy about Biggie and Stevie J and Stevie J and Biggie wearing women's clothing and all of this. I don't know if it's true. I don't know what to believe. I think people be running their mouth just to get views. People will say anything just to get clicks. But then again, you never know with Diddy. They've been talking about him for years. Got blackmail out the ass. They ain't even speaking on none of that stuff in his trial. Biggie did rap some zesty lyrics. Rest in peace to him, though. I don't think the world will ever see it. Maybe in the far, far future, but who's gonna know what's real and what's not? It could be some exclusive, rare pictures, but hell, people can Photoshop, AI, what is it, Chat GPT and all that. You just never know what's going on. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button too. I'm gonna holler at y'all later though.
Risk my life to give you a document expectations, girl. I risk my life to give you all